contend with the chance there could be some strong storms for the next 30 minutes or so. Here's what I'm watching, though. We have severe thunderstorm warnings with a tornado possible tag in the dark orange color. That includes southeast Ouachita County and into Calhoun County. This cell has me a little more concerned because it continues to strengthen. We're seeing an uptick in the lightning, and also there is some rotation within this cell. So there you see the green showing up. This cell continues to exhibit rotation as it's making its way into Calhoun County. Calhoun County, Hampton, you're not under a tornado warning currently, but that could change at any moment. We'll continue to watch for updates from the National Weather Service, but it's southeast Arkansas. Be on your guard, I would say, until about 4 or 5 o'clock. I'll have more on the weather coming up. And they just issued a tornado warning. So they just issued a tornado warning for that cell in Calhoun County. So we're going to stay with you here in Calhoun County. No surprise, we were watching it very closely, and it's for that area just to the north of Snow Hill. So here is the latest tornado warning. This is a Doppler radar indicated tornado warning. It does include the city of Hampton. So if you're watching us in Hampton, that rotation is headed in your direction. Hampton, you definitely want to take your tornado precautions at this time. I've got meteorologist Corallys Ortiz. She is on the weather wall. Let's just get her set up real quick.
Yes, I'm ready to go. So in terms of this new warning that just came out, tornado warning in effect until at least 12:45, as he mentioned. It's actually located about 9 miles south of the Highland Industrial Park, or about 10 miles north of the community of Smackover. It's actually moving to the northeast at about 35 miles per hour. So what we can do right now is let's go ahead and put a track on this storm. Let's go ahead and switch over towards the winds, Nathan, so we can see where that rotation could be within that storm and the communities that might be within that, and take a little bit of a closer look at that as well. So
I'm just putting on, it's 35 miles per hour, so I'm going to put a track on here for you because I have to edit this real quick, and it is going to definitely be for the Hampton area.
So we have some communities that we can see within that polygon. That includes Locust Bayou, Woodbury, Hampton, Big Hill, community of Tinsman as well. So let's go ahead and he put the track on, moving towards the north and east. This is the center where that rotation is at 35 miles per hour. So I'm not sure if we're able to zoom in even a little bit more to get some more of those communities. I'll go ahead and let you do that real quick. But if you're just tuning in, we have the latest tornado warning storm in effect for parts of Calhoun County until 12:45 this afternoon. So if we can go ahead and take a bit of a closer look, you can kind of see recognizable areas. There's Highway 278. This is where that rotation would be the best if you're able to. I'll let you do your thing there, Nathan.
It's a very rural area. Yes. There's going to be a lot of county roads.
We're trying to get as close as we can to see some of the roads there. So if you recognize areas like County Road 280, Little Bay Road there, we got County Road 282, Strong Covington Road, and moving a little bit towards the north and east and a little bit further down the path of that storm, we can see Highway 278 as I mentioned. So again, that's something we're watching out for this storm. This is the only tornado warned storm, but we do have several severe thunderstorm warnings with the orange polygon shading, which that means that it's a severe thunderstorm warning, but it does have the potential or possible tornado tag with that as well. So what we can do is let's go ahead and do a wide view so we can kind of see where we're going on right now. We just cut into the news programming. Nathan just gave a weather update in terms of we're starting to see things begin to change. These storms are starting to push towards the east now. We're starting to see some counties drop from the tornado watches, as well as this line continues to push towards the east. Calhoun, go ahead and zoom right on in if you can pause that real quick. And let's go ahead and take a count of the lightning, and we can go back on that as well because we're trying to see whether or not the storm is strengthening or weakening, so we can use lightning as a way to measure that. We have 19 lightning strikes being measured within that storm so far. So we can go back on that and measure the amount of lightning, and then that way we can determine whether or not if we see the drop in lightning, it could be weakening or so. So this is a look at the 1 hour wind loops. We can kind of see the history of the storm if you're able to track it back within the last 10 minutes or so. So we can kind of see how it kind of begin to progress as well. And are you able to tell, it did start right near the community at Smackover. I was actually looking at that prior. It was starting to look a little bit suspicious. I don't know if on your Storm Track 11 we're able to see or kind of confirm with that as well. There we go. Thank you. Yeah, it's showing a little bit of some of that the rotation there using our tool. It's called the NROT. It kind of helps us kind of confirm where the rotation will be as well. What do you have pulled up right now, Nathan?
This is the winds within the storm cell, Corallys, and we are looking at about 8,000 feet above the surface. So it's kind of hard to get a good reading on exactly what's happening at the surface with this cell, but the National Weather Service has issued that tornado warning because we're seeing rotation as low as the radar beam can go within this part of the state, and it's definitely showing an uptick in the inflow. Winds of 70 miles per hour to almost 80 miles per hour. Again, this is 8,000 feet above the surface. And even though you may not get a tornado, some of that wind energy could make its way down to the surface. So Hampton, you could be seeing a wall of wind headed in your direction very shortly, or there could be rotating winds if there is a tornado on the ground. This is a Doppler radar indicated tornado, but nonetheless, still need to take it seriously, still need to take your tornado precautions because most likely the tornado sirens are going off in the city of Hampton, and this cell is going to continue to be by itself for the most part. Let's go back over to Max because we are still watching this lone cell. It is a supercell thunderstorm. It's all by itself. A little bit of activity developing into Bradley County, but you see the bullseye of the reds and oranges and the lightning starting to increase in intensity right over Calhoun County. I'm going to rewind this, go back to the radar loop over the past 15 minutes or so, and you can see it has emerged from Columbia County, and they had a history of some damage in Columbia County, moved through northern parts of Union County, and now has made its way into Calhoun County. That is the one cell that we are concerned about with at this time, pretty much in the THV 11 viewing area, because here's what's going on with warnings across the rest of the state. Nothing going on for most of central Arkansas, but we do have that severe thunderstorm warning in the dark orange color with a possible tornado, but the tornado warning is in the red, and that does include, once again, the city of Hampton into Woodbury, Tinsman, and Big Hill. So if you are watching us in those communities and you see your highway on there, 203, Highway 274, Highway 167, take your tornado precautions at this time because there could be a brief tornado that may happen at any moment. Don't want to take any chances. Also, there could be some damaging wind gusts, 60 to 75 miles per hour as this cell makes its way through your neighborhood.
So let's go ahead and do another wide look across the state so we can see where these storms are kind of set up right now. About an hour ago or so here in the metro, we did see a little bit of a brief heavy downpour that kind of helps suck up or use up any of the energy that we had in the atmosphere, which is good in terms of the lowering the potential for severe weather for us. So you can kind of see where the line is beginning to develop ahead of a cold front that's slowly going to be pushing on through the afternoon hours. This is not expected to last, fortunately, into the overnight hours. We'll be wrapping up later this evening, but we do have a couple of some not only severe thunderstorm warnings, but you have that tornado warning as well. We have another one coming in from northern Louisiana into parts of Union County right there as well. But to our north, we are mainly just dealing with some rain. So the main concern really is right here to the east of Interstate 30 there. This whole area in southeast Arkansas has been pretty much untouched. So they have a lot of energy still to work with and for the storms to tap into the atmosphere. But here's a breakdown of that severe weather timeline. Thank you, Nathan, for pulling that up. Anything along this dashed line and west, the threat is over. You guys are in the clear. Matter of fact, I believe we were already beginning to see some clearing in parts of western Arkansas with that cold front slowly arriving. Here across the central portions of the state between these two dashed lines, we have up until at least the next hour or two before we begin to see in the clear. It's already been reflective with the watches that we've already been seeing dropped, if we're able to pull up that map real quick. But eastern Arkansas is not expected to be in the clear up until at least the 4 to 5 o'clock hour. So if you do have a look at the watches that we have currently in effect for the tornado watches, Nathan.
Pulling up right now.
Perfect, because we did see some of them drop and shift further towards the south and east as well.
Okay, so here's the current watches.
Here are the current watches right now. So it does expand all the way down towards the Delta region. We saw several counties to our west, it dropped off. So it still includes portions of central, south central, and southwest Arkansas. This is until 4 o'clock later this afternoon. So we still got a few more hours to go as these storms begin to trek on through.
And again, Corallys, the main concern, I think, for the rest of the afternoon is going to be for southeast Arkansas. It's going to be, if you're watching us in Cleveland County, Bradley County, Drew County, Ashley, Chico counties, Deshay, Lincoln, Arkansas, and Jefferson counties, because the atmosphere has been not touched. It hasn't been used. There's still energy certainly available for these storms to tap into, and the low-level jet is right over that part of the state. It will increase in intensity throughout the course of the afternoon. Therefore, these storms will most likely maintain their strength or continue to strengthen as we go into the next few hours. So we still have a window of opportunity where these storms will continue to be pretty feisty in this part of Arkansas. Pine Bluff, Stuttgart, DeWitt, Star City, Rison, Monticello, Tiller, McGee, down through Hermitage, of course Hampton, because that's where the tornado warning is in effect right now. But Pulaski County, Saline County, things will start to quiet down probably in the next hour to hour and a half. So downtown Little Rock, we're seeing the heavy rain at this time. Once this heavy rain moves out, we're done with the threat of severe weather in Pulaski County and Saline County through the rest of the afternoon. The severe weather threat primarily will stay into east and southeast Arkansas. But we're on air right now because we had that current tornado warning in effect. So once again, we'll take a look what's happening in Calhoun County. That is the only tornado warning in effect at this time for the THVLM viewing area. But this is a nasty little cell that is still showing rotation, Corallys.
Yes.
And once again, it may produce a tornado, but it may produce just a line of damaging winds.
If you're able to mark on the map where the rotation is, so it makes it easier for everybody to tell on here, it's roughly it's east to Locust Bayou there near the community of Woodbury, and it's moving towards the north and east as of now at 35 miles per hour. So that's the latest update. This warning still in effect until 12:45. So for another half an hour or so, you'll definitely want to hunker down. There's that center where that rotation is right now, just across Highway 278 there. So if you recognize these areas, if you know people within this region, make sure to give them a heads up. Hunker down within the next 30 minutes or so as that storm continues to trek towards the north and east. It does look like they did narrow down that tornado polygon there, so the community of Locust Bayou is just to your east. You guys, I would still hold on, and I wouldn't say necessarily in the clear just yet. Again, this tornado warning is within a larger polygon of a severe thunderstorm warning that has the tag where you see the shade of orange of still having a possible tornado. So thank you, Nathan, for putting that track in. As I mentioned, the latest update, it has it moving towards the north and east at 35. So let's go ahead and highlight some more communities. We had the community of Woodbury, that's in effect until 12. It should be reaching you guys, I should say, by 12:22. Big Hill by 12:36. Tinsman at 12:38. Wagnon at 12:46. And even beyond that warning, the community of Weeks at 12:53 p.m.
Looking at the cloud top with this, Corallys, it continues to grow right over that part of Calhoun County. So it doesn't seem like it's weakening in terms of strength. But as we take a look at the rotation once again, I'm going to switch it over here to the wind tool. When we're looking at the winds within the cell, there's certainly some rotation there. It's not definitely screaming out, okay, there's definitely a tornado on the ground, but we can't let our guard down because the radar beam is so high. We're looking at what's happening about 8,000 feet above the surface, and this storm could be producing a tornado, 3,000, 4,000 feet below that level. So that's why we can't say, okay, there's definitely something happening or there's nothing happening. You're under tornado warning in this part of Calhoun County. You got to take it seriously.
Well, Nathan, what we can do is pull up that tool for the debris signature to see if there's anything even being picked up. Because again, these storms are just radar indicated, so we don't really have anything visual to confirm. And if there was confirmation, it'll likely be a storm that's, rain wrapped. It will be a little bit difficult for the people to see it come as well. So I'm not sure if there's anything being picked up or if we're able to switch over to that debris signature.
No, it doesn't look like anything. And also we have to keep in mind that the debris detector really works closer to the radar. When we're this high above, it's not going to be as useful unless it's a very strong tornado lofting up debris 15, 20,000 feet.
Yeah, so that's just one way we measure to see what's going on. Let's go ahead and go back to the lightning count. I believe the last time we checked in it was about 19 lightning strikes or so. So we use that as a tool to just measure the strength of this storm and to see whether or not it's been weakening or strengthening there. So in terms of the lightning count there, it looks like you can see the history is going down. So that means showing some signs of weakening, but we still have to be very mindful watching these storms. They are kind of pulse-like pattern. They weaken and they strengthen and they weaken and they strengthen. So that's kind of been the case through the early, or I should say late morning hours. So right now, this is the only storm that we have going on. That's tornado warning storm. If you're just joining us now, we are seeing a tornado warning for Calhoun County. That's until at least 12:45 this afternoon. Right now, the latest track of it has a tornado warning storm. It's located near the community of Hampton, moving towards the north and east at 35 miles per hour. So just to the north, or just near the community of Hampton, that's where we're seeing some of that circulation going on. And they keep narrowing and down that polygon as it continues to move towards the north and east. So in terms of the latest update, it's pretty much still the same, still up until 12:45 p.m. Let's go ahead and do a street view. We haven't done street view in quite some time, near where the center of the rotation is, the strongest of that storm. And let's see if we can identify any more communities. So if you're in the community of Woodbury, let us know if you recognize any of these roads. We have Silliman Road right here. We have County Road 217. A lot of this is north of Highway 217. We have Highway 203 right near intersecting the community of Woodbury, continuing towards the north and east. Let's go ahead and move towards the north and east. Well, down to our south, we actually have Hampton High School as well. But continuing to our north and east, between the intersection of Highway 203 and 167, we have County Road 235, County Road 54, County Road 53, and we also have Calhoun, it's a little bit hard to tell, Calhoun 62 there, and County Road 62 there, continuing to the community of Tinsman to the north and east.
And this is a very broad area of rotation, Corallys. Like, again, it's not a tight couplet, so it'll be interesting to see what the National Weather Service decides to do, if they're going to continue this tornado warning, if they're going to possibly expire. It's supposed to go until 12:45. Right now, to me, it looks more like a damaging wind threat, and that can still produce damage. You get winds of 60, 70 miles per hour. That can still bring down trees and tree limbs and cause structural damage, especially if a tree falls on a home. Hopefully that's not the case, but just because we're not seeing a clear area of rotation, a tight couplet, don't let your guard down. Still, respect the tornado warning, respect the polygon, and they just decided to cancel that tornado warning for Calhoun County. So the National Weather Service says, all right, the rotation has weakened just enough. We're going to go ahead and cancel that tornado warning. So we're not seeing any more warnings in effect for the rest of the THV 11 viewing area. They're still going to go with a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible in Calhoun County. Don't let your guard down in Cleveland County, because this cell is headed in your direction and it could re-strengthen, or there could be a tornado warning for you folks over the next 1 hour or so. Things will start to quiet down as we go into the rest of the afternoon hours from west to east. Once again, here in Pulaski County, we're going to continue to see the rain move off to the east. We've got probably another 30 minutes or so. If there's going to be a strong storm, if there's going to be a severe storm, the time frame of that, the chance of that is really starting to wind down here in central Arkansas. By far, it is southeast Arkansas. That's where you need to stay weather aware through the rest of the afternoon, with that tornado watch in effect until 4 o'clock this afternoon. Abby, if you want me to go ahead and set it to break, okay, we're going to go ahead and set it to break, and we'll be back more news with Journey coming up.